In the last one, we spoke about entrepreneurship. And then the fourth one, that is probably the crowning glory, is leadership. Now, leadership is something that is very misunderstood in the world. And it's important to look at leadership and understand what it is and what it's not. And let's start with what it's not. Leaders are not born. Leaders are not made. Leadership is a decision. And until you can understand what it means to make a decision to be a leader, you cannot be a leader. Now, Malcolm Gladwell wrote a fantastic book, Outlier. And all his research actually summarizes this whole event very well. This whole misunderstanding of leadership. And it starts when we are little. And as human beings are, some kids grow faster than others. Now, we know that the emotional development of a child is complete by the age of 2. The coping mechanisms to understand how to deal with that is only developed later in life. There's very good research that shows for women it's 21, for men it's 30. It coincides with the total development of the brain. It takes a long time to be able to understand the emotions that go through. But the one thing that children understand very quickly is dominance. The way that they can dominate their environment. And invariably, the child that grows faster than the next one has got a physical dominance, and they will dominate the area. And the smaller children instinctively learn that they should listen, because the next step is you're going to get hurt. The fact is, it hasn't changed that the faster growing child will exert their dominance in their personal space and with other children, and the other children then listen out of fear. Do yourself a favor. Go and look at the telephone in your hand lying next to you. What does it look like? So it's a smartphone with all the features you can think of. Now think about a telephone 100 years ago. Was still on a wooden piece on the wall, two little bells, and you had a little thing that you turn on the side to get to the exchange, and they would connect you with another number. That's just 100 years ago. Think of the cars out. Think about a Tesla or Audi e-tron or one of the fancy cars, or any car for that matter today. And then you think about a car 100 years ago. And then you think about what a classroom looks like today. If your child's at school, university, or when you were there, think about what it looks like. And I can tell you, 150 years ago, a classroom looked exactly the same. So the indoctrination and the way that specific part of society look at it hasn't changed. What happens? The bigger child that exerts their presence is automatically then put into leadership positions, preschool and in very start of school. Because listen, he's such a little leader, or she's such a little leader. See, everybody listens to them. But it's born from fear. It's got nothing to do with leadership. But what happens is, as that child continues to grow faster than others, they invariably get the little leadership positions. They invariably get the better positions in sports teams because they're physically stronger. They can run faster, they can jump higher than the other kids that hasn't caught up yet. Only in high school, and sometimes late in high school, early at university or in life, does the other kids more or less catch up physically. But then the pattern has been established, and people have got this thing that those are leaders. They're not, they're bullies. Bullies are born, not leaders. So leadership is a decision that you take. And leadership is probably one of the most important decisions that you will take in your life, because you are the person that must be led first. A leader is not a travel agent. A travel agent gives you the ticket, the pamphlet, and says, bon voyage, and bring me pictures when you come back. A leader says, come, I'll go and show you the way. Or let's go together and find the way. So leadership is extremely important to understand, and it's something that you must intentionally develop. And here's the thing, everybody is a leader. Everybody can be a great leader if you intentionally develop it. And that's where a lifelong study comes in of how do I develop my leadership skills. And by the way, I was in a bookshop the other day and two young ladies were talking, and the one had a pretty derogatory remark made about, oh, these self-help books. So I said to her, excuse me, I don't want to interrupt, but let me tell you, the entire life is self-help. If you don't help yourself, you will get nowhere. If you do not study at school, you will not get the marks. If you do not train for that 800 meter, you will come last or you won't even finish. If you do not get up early and you're on time for class at university, you will not get the degree. If you don't get to work on time, you will not keep that job. The entire life is self-help. The sooner you figure out how to help yourself, the easier life will get. There's no such thing as luck in life. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Think about the two, preparation and opportunity. So if you're not prepared, and it often takes years to prepare for that opportunity that come your way. But if you're not prepared, a million opportunities will come and go and you will never even be able to recognize them. That's where leadership comes in. Leadership is that discipline that you, first of all, teach yourself on personal growth. How do I grow? Because growth is the preparation for opportunity. There's a million opportunities every day. Every day. The problem is you're not prepared for that because you cannot see that, or you don't have the skills or the qualifications or the system or whatever to exploit that opportunity. There's a million opportunities every day. 1998, the first piece of software in the world got a patent right on it. Now, if you think, the first patent office was opened in Antwerp in 1413. So it took a long time to get software there where you're going to get a patent on that. And in his final summation, the Judge President of the US said that the only true possession that you will ever have is a child of your own imagination. If you do not develop your leadership skills, the opportunity to develop new and unique ideas for old problems will never arise. Because you will never rise up above the rest. You will always be part of this crowded bottom. There where you worry about your next meal or that chronic disease that you've got. Did you know that the richer people become, the fewer chronic conditions they've got? Why do you think rich people live so much longer than poor people? Because they look after themselves. They are the leaders in their own life to understand that these are the things that I need to do every day to keep myself healthy. This is the foods that I need to eat. So the richer people become, the fewer chronic conditions they've got. And I can tell you now, both the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization is adamant that the biggest economic threat in this world is uncontrolled chronic conditions. So that is the ultimate show of leadership. Because a chronic condition, if you've got a chronic condition, it's your problem. Not the doctors, not your wives, or your mothers, or the pharmacist, or the teacher, it's yours. And you have to manage that optimally. And that's why it's called a chronic condition, not a chronic disease. It's not a disease, it's a condition that can be managed to such a point that it's got no effect on your life. Yes, it is true. And Stanford University has been doing research on that for 40 years, and they've been proving that for 40 years. And I've done those courses. I understand it. So I can tell you now that the chronic condition in your life, it's not only in your body, but it can be in your marriage and in your business. All come down to leadership, to self-leadership. And once you understand that it's important to understand leadership, and leadership is built on the foundation of personal growth, then your life will change. Next time, we start talking about business.